value. This is just incredible. The king ability, queen ability, everything. Where is the base? Where is that base? The base has just disappeared at this point. Counter is going down.
But having been victorious, they now have a tall order ahead of them against the #1 seeded team. We're going to be jumping into the #2 match now, as seed #3 and #6 are going to be facing off. It's Method2Madness versus Alternate Attacks, and we are already underway with attack #1, Itsu.
Yeah, and we can see something which was kind of to be expected. We see Alternate running those ring bases. Those ring bases are so scary. And I mean, I think Alternate is the best team in trophy pushing right now from the competitive scene. They have so many players in the top 10 in the global leaderboards, and that's exactly why they're up there. One of the reasons why they're up there, they're building those annoying bases. So one area facing a ring base in Legends or anywhere with those town of 14 walls around the town hall, well, blame Alternate kind of. Like, their base builders are just incredible. So let's take a look at how those super witches can deal with that town, of the range of those super witches, which is bigger than, for example, boulders or super wizards. Is normally a great answer to those ring bases. The town hall finally is going down. Now it's all about the backhand. Can this backhand hold strong, or was this push big enough to take down the entire base?
Any tennis player knows that a strong backhand will be a big advantage going into the last stages of the match, and it seems like the same is true here of this attack by M2Ben. But I just gotta say, since we didn't really tip off the war first, you have got to give credit, props, acknowledge the victorious stance shown by Alternate Attacks in the months leading up to this event, in the years leading up to this event. Alternate Attacks is the reigning world champion, having shown dominance this year by conquering 8 local community events and showing up in the world's warm-up, as well as the second ESL Meisterschaft Championships. They are the team to beat this season, and M2 has really got their work cut out for them. Ben doing a fantastic job with these witches toward the later end, the super witches rather, building up strength and carrying through, even with healers to back him up, and plenty of time to get that 3-star. But that by no means is going to give you any breathing room against arguably the best clan in the world, Alternate Attacks.
Yeah, but I feel like we praised Alternate now too much, because it is Method2Madness who are starting off with a 3-star on the base of Boom. A really great base identification. We're talking about how super witches struggle right now in the meta, but at the same time, those super witches are such a great counter to those ring bases. And we were seeing exactly why that's the case. And you can, well, make sure to copy those pet combinations. And there's a pretty unusual one. It's the queen with the owl. The reason for that is that this owl is working pretty much as a coconut pet. And what does this mean? Well, it is not triggering the traps on their own, but loons which are flying ahead can trigger those black mines. And the owl, well, that's kind of the pet which has the not the greatest job, but the owl can tank those black mines. This means you're not losing any healers. There was the reasoning for that. We have the next attack coming in, and that is Yo-Yo. And let's go. He's coming in with his Lado. That's the army composition which he's running right now in Legends. And he was, at least earlier today, ranked 2 in the world. So let's see if he can show this off. Why exactly he is the ranked 2 player right now in the entire world in Legends League.
You're right to give props to Method2Madness, a strong attack to start things off, but just because they've won the battle, I'm not convinced yet that they're going to win the war. Having defeated Method2Madness in the pre-qualifiers, Alternate Attacks is definitely the team that I'm expecting to take the victory here, and no better way to start it off than by Yo-Yo 23. His eyes will stare into your soul and learn its darkest, deepest secrets. Find out where you've placed your traps and then plan directly around it. A quick hit already to start off with a Sui Queen up top, claiming that town hall and taking down that Lava Hound as well. Popping through the pumps with ferocity. He's built up a fantastic start for this Walloon strike, Itsu.
Yeah, and now everything is pushing into that bottom side of the base, into that eagle. And the great thing about this Lado strategy is that you have no expensive opener, which means you have a ton of spells left for the backhand. And that's why it's so hard to execute the strategy. It's all about using your spells and everything correctly. And so far, it's not looking too bad. Those loons are trying to get into the base. He has still one rage left, which he can use as soon as he wants, but this one sweeper on the left is giving him a rough time. Now he's freezing that up, make sure that he's pushing inside, another freeze on the right side. And that's the difficulty about the strategy. So many things are happening at the same time. He has one freeze, one haste left, and this is exactly why he's the rank 2 player right now in the world. This is just so impressive. Try this attack strategy at home. Just try it only once, and you can see that is so hard to execute, and Yo-Yo make it look like it is nothing. Like, this attack was so smooth. 1 minute left on the clock, and this attack is going to be the comeback already for Alternate. They're tying things up, and this means it's 3-3 after one attack each, Woody.
The Dark Archon of Destruction, Yo-Yo 23. Just the sound of his name sends shivers, fear, and trembling into the hearts of lesser men. Mortals beware! Everyone knows that a yo-yo starts at the top and drops back down. What comes up must go back down, and true to his name, Yo-Yo has dropped this base to the ground. Confidence reigning supreme for this alternate attack squad, holding toe-to-toe with their opponents now. A 3-star has been met with a triple right on the other side. A perfect start for this incredible war. Let's see whether Method2Madness can keep pace. The tempo is really picking up now, and it's PSW, the next striker, moving in with mass drag. The first time that we've seen that so far today, Itsu.
Yeah, and that's another ring base. Oh my goodness. Those ring bases are typically so annoying to plan on. And this base looks really interesting. And already I'm going to see that base a ton in Legend, most likely. We have the Queen and the Royal Champion really close to the Town Hall, so they can protect that Town Hall and make it really annoying to face. We have the Lightnings coming in because those ring bases are so stacked. So he wants to take down the Sweeper, he wants to take down the Multi-Inferno Tower. Now he's using bats to tank the air defense for the Electro Dragons and a couple of loons. That is a genius opening. The fun is created at the top side by the heroes. The right side is taken down by the Electro Dragon. And now those dragons can enter the base. And it's all about them taking down the rest of the base. And the Town of Poison is the thing we have to look out for, because those dragons deal take a ton of damage from this Town Hall Poison. But there's the Blimp making its way into the Town Hall to make sure that the dragons are taking no damage, but the Hound is getting lured. The Hound is getting lured, and that might be a really bad thing for the attack. But so far, nothing had targeted that Hound, Woody.
A tricky start, but PSW has still got a lot of forces left. He told us before the war began that Mass Drag is his favorite strat. They're taking a lot of punishment in the core there with that multi-target Inferno burning through so many attacking troops, and there just doesn't seem to be anything that's able to make it to the core just yet. A Royal Champion doing her best to back up from the ground and give a little bit more firepower here, but soaking additional shots from that cannon, and just with one more dragon ahead, high in the skies, it doesn't look like that's going to be enough. A late free spell from PSW is going to give no more assistance to the rest of this hit, and with 79%, you got to wonder how much more he's got left in the tank. None at all. A really heartbreaking defeat for Method2Madness to come starting off with a 3-star and then to back it up with such a small showing. It's actually kind of a heartbreaker now to just watch this archer pluck away at the Dark Elixir storage at the bottom of the base. It kind of seems emblematic of what we are going to experience in the rest of this war, Itsu. You've got a valiant effort being made by an upstart contender against a gigantic base that will smile, staring down at you as you do your best to finish it off. Vale is just a fantastic base builder and well known for having an amazing approach to every single contact with the enemy. I'm rambling at this point, but he's done a great job setting it up and denying access to PSW. Congrats on the defense to alternate attacks.
Yeah, and their base builds are just incredibly skilled. Like, Sir Iron, like we want to mention the base players as well, Sir Iron, Auxilla, and Bob the Builder. They're just incredible with this base building. And the reason why this team is using ring bases is because ring bases are really punishing. If there's a fail in there, it is a really low percentage, as we just have seen. This percentage with below 80% can be already a game changer. Only 79% with this Zap Dragon attack is already a huge defense for the alternate squad. So let's see if they can use this and put pressure on the Method2Madness team. But hey, they're using ring bases as well. But at the same time, I have to say, I don't know if you want to use ring bases against the best team from Legends League, because those ring bases are their bread and butter basically. And Boom is coming in with that P.E.K.K.A Smash with the Yeti Blimp to open things up. But there's the double Black Mine. The question is he getting enough value with that Blimp now?
A perennial MVP from a World Championship squad, the captain of alternate attacks. Boom is considered by many not just to be one of the greatest players who is competing right now, but one of the greatest esports competitors in the Clash of Clans World Championship history. This guy is a 3-star machine. 5 triples out of the 7 attacks in the pre-qualifiers with a 97.3 average destruction, the second best performance on this lineup, and here to show why once again he is just such a dominant force on offense. He's brought an amazing complement of spells to back up this big deep ground push with witches and P.E.K.K.As, a heavy offense and somewhat atypical, not quite off meta, but certainly not the aerial assault that we've seen in the past from alternate attacks. What do you make up of how this hit is shaping up so far, Itsu?
So far, it looks really promising. The Queen has to take down the tower quick, though, because otherwise the tower is dealing a ton of damage, and now it's coming down to how the Queen steps. If the Queen is stepping inside that poison of the town hall, she's getting slowed down so much. The invisibility spell is saving that Queen really nicely. The bottom side of your screen, you can see all of the P.E.K.K.A getting into that outer ring, beating down all of those defenses. The World Champion is taking on the multi-inferno tower now, and the Queen has still another rage, and this is a perfect attack versus one of those ring bases. Get your Queen inside the core and get the P.E.K.K.A and your own King in the second inner ring to make sure this base is smashed, using the Queen ability last second to save her. World Champion ability is still not used either, and that should finish off the last couple of buildings, and this should yet again be another 3-star for alternate. As I said, I am not sure if you want to use ring bases against alternate. I think they struggle more against under 3-star bases, so it's a kind of big question mark for me. But hey, this is 2 out of 2 for alternate, and they're showing in this first match already why exactly they are defending why they are the defending world champion. Starting off with the Yeti Blimp, we can show that in the replay. Taking down the Eagle nice and early. That Eagle is such a strong defense that he wants to take that down early, and then just keep raging the Queen, keeping her alive. Perfect invisibility spell, and with this second 3-star with a really strong army composition.
I think what really separates the 2-star strikers from the 3-star super chads is the ability to respond on the fly against unpredictable burst damage. Those giant bombs getting a lock from an enemy archer queen, those are the times that try men's souls. Boom has shown time and again that his adaptation, his quick reflexes are all you need to make sure that that perfect setup is followed up with a perfect execution as well. The 3-star on the board for alternate attack keeps their hopes of a perfect war alive. Relative to Method2Madness, they are already far ahead out of the first 2 hits, but we've seen in the past, Marcos Gaming versus Vatang, that just because you get the lead early on doesn't mean that you can necessarily hold on to it. If anyone's going to turn this thing around now, we have got to expect it to be M2Love, a strong hitter from Method2Madness. He picked up 4 3-stars out of the 7 hits in the pre-qualifier. Let's see what he's got now. He's coming in on the ground once again with big old P.E.K.K.As out in front to smash through. I have noticed that they've picked up in favor relative to Yetis. And do you want to make any sort of comment about the changes in the meta recently that have led to that, Itsu?
Yeah, the biggest change is kind of the Spring Trap. It's one of the traps where it's like just no counterplay for the attacker, because, well, how do you counterplay a Spring Trap? Just use a P.E.K.K.A and just don't trigger it with that, basically, because the Spring Trap is not working against the P.E.K.K.A, and we can see why it's getting so much use by all of the pros. The Warden ability, perfect timing to catch the P.E.K.K.A. around the tower. The tower should be taken down soon, but now it's yet again all about the tower poison. And we can see the difference, kind of. A lot of troops went inside the base. And now let's see if it's enough power for the backhand. So far, it's looking really good. The Nader, though, is rotating the Queen a bit into the poison. We can see how slow. The Queen attacking is so incredible slow inside that poison. But the backhand so far is getting crushed by all of those troops. So this base looks pretty much wrecked with this P.E.K.K.A. smash approach. So there is no chance. Last buildings are going down. And we see yet again another 3-star. This match is incredible. I feel like the first match was a bit slow starting. The teams were really nervous. But those two teams coming out swinging. And this is getting showcased in the results so far. We have 2 out of 3 for the Method2Madness squad, and that one was a really, really fast strike.
Yeah, if you had blinked at the start, you might have missed the entire setup there. M2 Love, definitely a quick striker, and it makes a lot of sense from a tactical perspective. You want to get as much firepower on the board as quickly as possible to eliminate as many defenses early on while you're still able to make use of short-timed abilities like that Grand Warden Eternal Tome, things like, rage spells, getting your troops directly on top of defenses with jump spells, all critically important to apply maximum firepower as quickly as possible early on with that attack strat. It's not the sort of long-haul marathon run like you see with a lot of queen walks toward the outer edges. You really do leverage that heavy-hitting knockout punch and then just let kind of the rest of it trickle through. That also helps out a lot if you do wind up in a tiebreaker position because you get a really short spin time, or not spin time, a really short time remaining at the end of the attack. So congrats there to Method2Madness, going toe-to-toe, still behind relative to alternate attacks position, but it's up to the Linade now to keep his team ahead with another triple, moving in with that tried, trusted, and reliable Hog
Take a look at
Rider combo.
Lassie is hunting down those archers to make sure they have no chance to take or like to deal any damage on that queen. And well, sadly we have to say Linade so far is not having the best tournament of his life. He was not having the best day at that pre-qualifier, so we have to see if he can turn that around. But maybe because that's of his strategy pool, he really likes to use this Queen Charge Hybrid, and something which a lot of players already have noticed is Queen Charge Hybrid is not one of those stronger attack strategies anymore on Town of 14. Town of 13 was like the strongest attack strategy, or one of the strongest attack strategies in the game. But now on Town of 14, this has changed completely. Those Hogs, those Miners are not as tanky anymore on those really, really high damage buildings of Town of 14, and especially of that poison. So really good that he's taking down the Town Hall early and the poison. And now he has the King entering into that Eagle compartment, and the Hybrid is starting in between. And this so far is an opening. It's looking really promising. So let's see if you can push the Hybrid through and make this attack work, Woody.
You are right to point out the difficulty that Linade had in the pre-qualifier. Just a single 3-star strike out of the 7 attacks that he made. But things are a lot different during the pre-qualifiers when you have a lot less time to plan your hit. You have to be ready for rapid-fire back-to-back strikes, as opposed to the setup that they've got right now. A lot more time to think, plan, strategize, and perfect your execution. Linade looks very strong as he moves still through into the core of the space. Grand Warden backing up the bulk of this push without any big key defensive structures really kind of standing out to me, except for that scatter shot, raining down fire on everything in the core. There just hasn't really been a whole lot to target onto it, and that can be the death knell for a raid. This Archer Queen is still happy and healthy on the outer edge, but without any additional support troops to move back in, it looks like that's going to come up short of the 3-star, Itsu.
Yeah, and it looks like history repeats for Linade. I don't know, maybe they just have to say that he has to do some other attacks, because we all know that Linade is capable of doing basically any attack strategy, but Queen Charge Hybrid so far has just not worked for him, it feels like. And sadly, he is going from 1 out of 7 to 1 out of 8, and that is really unfortunate with a quite low percentage. But at the same time, he is 3% above what Method2Madness just did in their in their second attack, I think. So this is still a percentage lead with like 3 buildings overall, and this is, well, a lead which they can try to keep. And now up to Method2Madness. If they 3-star, the pressure is on alternate, and then they have to yet again 3-star as well. Otherwise, if they defend now, this would be kind of relaxing and give them some power back in this mind game play, which is happening always kind of like behind the scenes. And we saw yet again the Queen Charge Hybrid. It just did not work out. The pet combination for Queen Charge Hybrid is pretty classic. That one, what you can see on your screen right now. But Queen Charge Hybrid overall in the current meta is just not working that great. And yet again, we have another ring base. Really, Archet wants to have Method2Madness suffer. Those ring bases are really not nice to plan on. And we have the invisibility spell. Oh, that was genius. Redirecting the Hound and triggering the Black Mine. And with this, that blimp should reach its target. And now we have the invisibility spell onto the Super Wizards, which are in that clan castle, taking down that clan castle. And now it's all about the tower going down as well. And this so far is looking pretty promising, Woody.
There it goes, another spell on top just to seal the deal. M2's LG goes straight for the heart of the space and knocks down that key structure. We now just have a ring around the rosy that he's going to try to effectuate here on the outer edges. It's tough to get the funneling job done when you've got such a big, long wall staring straight at you, but knowing that you've already taken out the Town Hall is a big weight off your mind. He's probably going to try to make an attack similar to what we saw with that previous Lava Hound strike, except rather than going counterclockwise, I'm expecting a clockwise positioning this time, seeing as he's already kind of cut through from that 2 o'clock position straight into the core. He's already kind of turned this base into a C shape, basically, and it looks like he's going to be starting off on the right side and then kind of swooping down and around back up to the top.
Yeah, but one of the worst things for Lalut are those core multi-inferno towers. So as long as he's not taking those out with his queen, this is going to be a really unfortunate ending for him, because how do you deal with those core multi-inferno towers? They just recently got a huge buff on Town Hall 14 with this additional beam, queen ability to take down the Royal Champion. The queen is still backtracking now. So, but I don't think that she has enough power to take one of those multi-inferno towers out. And now take a look at the multi-inferno towers carefully and take a look at how much damage they can provide. The loons are slowly approaching the core. Red mines are coming up. And now the multi-inferno towers, the triple multi-inferno tower, that is going to be scary, Woody.
This might have been an adaptation by LG, recognizing that the multi-infernos in the core hadn't gone down to the Queen Strike, choosing now to go from the top and swoop around in that counterclockwise order. He has a ton of balloons left, but we've seen how deadly those Inferno beams can get, and without any way to direct troops quicker than just one remaining haste spell, he has really got his work cut out for him against a massive base, still standing strong. That scatter shot in the bottom corner would have just been the death knell for anything that could have gotten through, but yep, just like you predicted, Itsu, double multi-target Inferno still standing at the end here. Too much to handle for that La Lune strike.
Yeah, I just think the opening, the blimp did not get enough value. Those ice golems are a huge counter to a blizzard. If you're asking why, well, the reasoning is that those blizzard is basically relying on them free hitting during the invisibility spell is active, and we can see that right there on your screen. The ice golems freezing up the super wizards, and with this they cannot dish out the damage, they cannot take down one or even two multi-inferno towers, and this was the end of the attack really early on. And yet again we see a 73%, and we already saw Linnate had one of the fails, and already not the highest percentage, but those percentages are even lower, which means the base building crew of Alten is doing yet again an amazing job of identifying the weak spot of their opponent. I'm really looking forward to see if Alten is going to pick anti-3-star bases later on against other opponents, and maybe they just say, hey, Method2Madness, they're not pushing, they're not knowing how to beat those bases, and we have already the next attack coming in from Alten, and this time around it's us, and he is the only player in this tournament which is still perfect over the entirety of the pre-qualifier. Starting off with the Skelly Donut, and it seems like, though, the clan cast is not going down, Woody.
7 attacks and 7 triples, but he might have just tripped up on this bottom compartment. The standing CC there is getting repaired back up now by the builders walking around, and that could spell a lot of trouble for him. Lots of troops going to be streaming out there now and slowing down this Archer Queen. Giga Inferno already heating up and starting to cause her a lot of trouble. She pops her ability and takes down the Town Hall. At least we can say that Ass got the first star cleared off. But alternate attacks definitely want to get a triple here, trying to pull ahead on the star race and not just go toe-to-toe on that tiebreaker. Method2Madness has been slowing down, but alternate attacks don't want to pump the brakes just yet.
Yeah, and the pathing which he has provided is not too bad. And one thing which we have to keep in mind, this base is running 4 ground expos. 4 ground expos, and this is now air attack, which means, well, the Loons are not being too worried about those ground expos, and we have the Lalo slowly starting from this top right side, pushing into the single front tower. The scatter is nicely getting frozen up. The warden ability is still not even used from that beginning. And now it's all about those headhunters. Those headhunters are making their way into the base, facing the enemy World Champion, taking her down. And now it's all about taking down the enemy Queen. The Queen is dropping as well. And Woody, this attack is actually not looking too bad.
A brilliant spread through the center of the base there knocks down some really important targets. And when you look at what's left, there's no more scatter shots. There's no more multi-target Infernos. The Town Hall's finished off and the Eagle is long gone. These balloons are still going to have their work cut out for them against Teslas, bombs, and anything else that can pop up along the bottom side of the base. But it is not guaranteed at all that LG will be able to hold on here. With the Stone Slammer popping out and sending even more balloons in now, it's just a question of whether there is any big splash damage to finish off that pack. And it's not looking likely at this point. I think that they might just have it, too.
30 more seconds, and there's not too much left, as you said. No more red mines, most likely. I think most of them already got triggered. One Bitter Hut is still shooting, but this one Bitter Hut will not make the difference. There was only one red mine. I was already getting afraid a little bit as well. But I think overall 18 seconds should be enough. And Ast is still perfect. 8 out of 8 in this first pre-qualifier and qualifier. And he's showcasing why he is so good. So at this point, Alternate is leading in stars and percentage. So Method2Madness, they really need their 3-star to stay in that match, and then they have to hope for one of the best defenses of this tournament so far. But I don't think that this is a likeliness, because we have Alternate still with the World's 2020 MVP on their bank still to attack. And we can see yet again the post-attack stats of the Skelly Donut Lalo, which is a really complicated attack strategy. And even though us kinda failed at the beginning, I want to say, he still just pulled it off. That was incredible, Woody. Really nicely done.
You throw him for a loop and he will keep on swinging back hard and strong. The Finnish finalizer Ast keeps his positioning at the top of the pack with perfect 8-for-8 triples. But we have got no time to slow down now, because we have got someone that everyone rooting for Method2Madness has had on their minds for a long time now. The captain of this squad. He's on a mission to take down alternate attacks after their close matchup where Method2Madness was defeated by a mere 0.6% in the pre-qualifiers. He has got the rage in his eyes, the fire in his belly, and it's time to put it all on the line, charging straight through with a Queen walk on the outer edge, knocking down plenty of structures, and his sights set on an Eagle artillery that seems to be a bit vulnerable here. Can he make it in?
Yeah, but there's just so much damage behind the Eagle. So yes, you can reach that Eagle easily, but the damage which is behind is just incredibly high. We have the multi-front tower with the Warden, the Expos, the Scatter Shot, and the tunnel itself. So there's a ton of damage. And if you're getting even further inside, well, there's the double sweeper pointing into your way, and having a sweeper on your Queen, and especially on the healers, is not the greatest thing to have. The Eagle's activated, but it's taken down quickly. Now it's all about how quick can you take down this defending flankers. The Hound has been taken down. There's the minion to support the poison, taking down those lava pups quickly. The Ice Goblin is freezing everything up, and now it's all about this Queen charge into the core of the base, into the heart of this base with 2 rages remaining, but he's choosing and going for the invisibility spell first, and then most likely for the rage really soon. And he has the Lalo still for the backend, but only 1 Hound and a couple of Loons to take this base out. And we have 1 multi-front tower on the back end. Interesting invisibility spell to make sure the Queen pathing is better. And there we go. The air part has started, and you can see on the Queen side as well, the sweeper are coming in and there's a lot of damage on that queen. Woody, what do you think? Can he make this?
Oh, double giant bombs exploding. Sweepers pushing the healers back, and the queen goes down. A beautiful queen charge goes the distance, but can't keep up with traps aplenty, knocking that poor queen silly. We've got a massive Lalo strike, but I think it just started off a bit late here, Itsu. He still has got a hope and a prayer, but with a multi-target Inferno burning through so many balloons, a lot of point structures still up on the outer edge. Teslas and Archer Towers ready to finish off what little remains from this strike. Beige had a great strat planned here, but just lost the Archer Queen a bit too soon and didn't have enough time, frankly, on the outer edge to get that Laloon all of the way around to finish off the job. A hearty congratulations on a well-placed fight, but ultimately this is going to be a disappointment for Method2Madness. A 2-star 76% might be the end of their hopes for advancement over alternate attacks.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why Altern are using those legend bases, and we can take a look yet again on that queen ability, but double giant bomb in combination with that poison, taking her down in her ability. And yeah, 76%, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier with the legend bases. If you're failing really, really bad percentage-wise. And this is something which those pros have to kind of like worry about as well. Like, if they're failing, yes, that's one part, but at the same time, they have to save the percentage to make sure that percentage-wise, everything is staying close. And take a look at the bottom right on the percentage game, 95 to 85. That's a huge gap. Now we see Vale coming in with another Lalo, making everything invisible, and he tries to go for the scatter and for the expose. This is what it looks like so far. Another invisibility spell. The scatter should go down soon, as well, and the multi-Inferno Tower is dropping as well. And take a look at that value. That is already looking great. And well, that's kind of the point as well. If you're building a ton of ring bases and testing those, you obviously know how to attack those ring bases as well, right?
Clearly they do, and clearly that advantage is powering through. All Vale needs here is to get a 2-star, but the sight of this mastermind marching onto the arena is enough to send shivers to the spine of defenders. A veil of tears is the only way to describe the clan planning room now for Method2Madness. They are surely certain that the dominant alternate attack squad finishing off with Vale is going to claim victory over them now. It's just a matter of time and watching how a master is going to go about this work. Heroes are going to be collapsing in over there on the 9 o'clock position, finding their way through layer after layer of walls with the assistance of these super wall breakers to crack down and get an easy shot at that Eagle artillery, which hasn't even opened up yet. Early start, it's already halfway through this hit now, Itsu.
Yes, sorry for interrupting, but he wants that tunnel. He has another wall break to get into that tunnel compartment. He wants that tunnel with his hero push. And take a look at the value. This is just incredible. The king ability, queen ability, everything. Where is the base? Where is that base? The base has just disappeared at this point. Tunnel is going down, and one of the deadliest defenses in this game has been taken out by just the heroes in the beginning. The entirety of the Lalo still in the beginning, and the multi-Inferno Tower should go down as well to the queen ability. And this attack so far is looking like the MVP he was for the 2020 World Championship. The Lalo is getting through, and this is looking really, really good, Woody.
My grandpa had to say, you got to wake up pretty early if you want to beat me, and I think that the same thing applies here for Vale. Brilliant planner with plenty of time on his hands and so much experience to back it up. He has just dealt the death knell to Method2Madness, finishing off this final base with another triple. That puts the star total for alternate attacks up to an incredible 14, the strongest we've seen out of the three clans. Besides alternate attacks, 14 stars really reigning in up on top. Congratulations to them. They will be advancing on to face off against MCES later. Definitely a match to look forward to.